You are listening to the EdTech Takeout from Grantwood AEA, an educational service agency that supports school districts in eastern Iowa with a focus on equity, excellence, and efficiency in education for all children.
Welcome to the EdTech Takeout, the podcast that serves up bite-sized technology tips for teachers. My name is Jonathan Wiley.
And I'm Mindy Carney. We have a special guest with us today, Stacy Behmer. She is our fearless leader, making her second return to the EdTech Takeout.
Stacy, you're the first person to appear on the podcast twice as a guest.
Wow, that's a privilege. I hope I get a sticker or something for that honor. Yeah. So introducing myself, sure. My name's Stacy Behmer. I work at Grantwood AEA with these two great folks. I'm the coordinator of digital learning, former elementary school teacher, middle school teacher for a while, then back to the elementary because it was more fun. Then I was tech director before coming here to Grantwood and getting to work with teachers and administrators now.
All right, so I have... Stacy actually brought this up. We use Voxer as a team. So if you haven't looked at Voxer, it's a good one. But Stacy voxed a photo of her TV screen the other night because there was a lucky duck who had received 3D printed web feet. So his feet had been amputated because of frostbite. And there was a teacher in the community that ended up 3D printing this little duck new webbed feet to walk around on. Did you guys watch the video clip?
I did. You know what? I heard it again this morning on the radio. So some middle school in Wisconsin is making national news for use of their 3D printer. Kind of cool.
Yeah. The thing I thought was interesting, and Mindy and I, the amount of experience we have with 3D printers, we could write on the back of a stamp or something. But when we were looking at this, I looked at the video again, the transcript. They used something called, what was that called? That material they used? It was called like Ninja Flex or something?
Yes, yeah.
Have you heard of that before?
I hadn't. That was the first time I'd heard of it, just when I watched the clip. That was it.
I'd never heard of Ninja Flex before. We need to get Jason Marshall on here and give us a rundown on Ninja Flex.
It just sounds like something we should have, Ninja Flex.
Yeah.
It's a good name.
Well, that's a great story, yeah. And I'm going to take us from one incredible creature to another because I have some follow-up from last week, Mindy, when you were asking about the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, yes, the Loch Ness Monster.
Because scientists have found the Loch Ness Monster.
What?
Well, I feel like that should be the headline. It wasn't actually the headline, but they found this story that came up just very recently because I read the BBC News site a lot, and on there it said the film's lost Nessie monster prop found in Loch Ness. So we talked about all these scientists that are like scanning the bottom of the loch and stuff like that, and they are all doing that, but one of the things they actually found was a movie prop from 50 years ago that sank in the loch. So scientists have found...
That was a funny twist. Yeah, good one.
Well, yeah, not funny, but funny strange for sure.
No, I actually did see the photo of that Loch Ness Monster, and like, did people really believe that was Loch Ness Monster? I guess way back then, that movie prop was out, very old because it was not real convincing, but it was kind of scary though.
Are you saying that's not what the Loch Ness Monster looks like?
Well, you know what? I guess I don't know. None of us do. None of us know. No. Mm-mm. So actually, I have something for follow-up today, Jonathan, about last time when we talked about makerspace and the things you need and to be thinking about when you're starting a makerspace.
Okay, so what would that be?
We have this great makerspace show here at Grantwood AEA that's put on by Amber Bridge and Jason Marshall, and it's called Think, Make, Innovate. And it's really great for schools who are looking for ways to challenge their students. And it's also kind of a window into some of those classrooms that are giving this makerspace movement a try. And Jason and Amber do all of these great challenges, and like kind of they're even willing to come out and help people as they're working through those challenges. I think it's just a really great opportunity to kind of see how the maker movement looks in a real classroom.
Yeah, so they do this monthly video show that they put on YouTube, and it always starts with some kind of challenge. and it's a challenge that they are partnering with some of our schools on. So they manage to go out to schools and they complete this challenge, and then they throw it out to the maker community to see what else people can come up with. And they've had some really great episodes so far, and some really great people who have submitted things to their maker community. So we should definitely give them a shout out.
Yeah, and I'll put a link in the show notes. So if you're interested, you can definitely check out their link to the show there.
All right, so swiftly moving on, we're going to talk about our top 5 for this episode. And our top 5 choices this week are EdTech Conferences for people that live in the Midwest or people who would love to come and visit the Midwest because it's such an awesome part of the United States. And we have 5 picks for teachers who are interested in using technology in their classroom and attending conferences to learn more about those. So I'm going to say, Stacy, you should kick us off.
You want me to start? Well, the first one I want to talk about is NETA. I think it's Nebraska Educational Technology. I don't know what the A stands for, but it's NETA, and it's in Nebraska. And it actually, NETA starts tomorrow with workshops, and I get the opportunity to head over there tomorrow to attend their conference. Great event in Omaha. It's at the CenturyLink Center. A super conference for Nebraska educators, Midwest educators to come get together. It's a lot larger than EdTech, our Iowa conference. So I think there's 2,000 educators that take off and attend this conference. They'll bring in speakers. They've done dual keynotes or choose your own keynote kind of thing on the second day. I know Dr. Robert Dillon is going to be there doing one of the choose your own keynote sessions. He was just at the Iowa 1-to-1 conference here a couple weeks ago. So I'm excited to see him again.
Well, I think you mentioned one of the other ones that we were going to mention. Second one on our list is EdTech, which is our own personal Iowa EdTech conference. So, and that runs always in October, like the second week of October, right? Is it something like the second week of October? And that's a great one, I think. What I love about it is just being an Iowa educator and being able to be there and meet the people that I see so often on, Twitter or Google Plus and things like that, and being able to make personal connections with those people and get to see, what's going on in the great state of Iowa. So that's a good one to check out too in the middle of October.
Yeah, lots of things going on in the great state of Iowa. I'm going to go the other side to our neighbors to the east, which would be in Illinois, because I think it was last year I went to ICE, maybe it was the year before, which is the Illinois Computing Educators Conference. And they always have some great people there. I was looking at their speakers for this year. Their conference is in like February or something, which is very fitting for the name of the conference because it's always like icy cold when you go there. But this year they had Jenny McGarrah, they had Tom Murray, they had Adam Bello, they had Lisa Johnson, Michael Matera, Franz Davis. They had a whole bunch of really awesome people, and it's definitely a great conference to go to. There was a lot of variety that time I went, and lots of great learning to do. So it's over in Chicago, and in February, if you are over that way, check out ICE.
Yeah, all these local, like EdTech, ICE, NETA are all ISTE affiliates, so it's really great to see what those local folks put on or in their state. It's kind of fun.
And Stacy, weren't you just up in Wisconsin for the Midwest Google Summit?
I was. And the Great Plains Google Summit is the one that I'm going to get the opportunity to see Sylvia Duckworth at this summer. But yeah, the Midwest Google Summit happens in November. And then there's also a spring summit in March, usually. So the last couple of years, there's been a spring summit too. So great opportunity. That one has really morphed and gone from here's the Google Apps tool suite on how-tos to really digging deep into the integration on how we can use those in the classrooms to impact teaching and learning. So it's always an exciting time to see folks up there and to hear about what other people are doing in their classrooms. So we've kind of graduated that conference from here's the basics to the down and dirty, what it means for our kids. So it's kind of exciting. Another great event.
To check that one out. I'd like to go up and do that sometime. Is it always in Wisconsin or does it travel?
That one has always been in the Dells. It was the first summit. Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
We'll have to get you up there.
Our last pick is one that it's just one that we would recommend for everybody, I guess. It's not very local to us right now, but it may be in the future because ISTE is kind of the mother of all EdTech conferences. I've been twice. Stacy's been more times than she can count on one hand probably. And our whole team's going in the summer, which is kind of exciting. And this year it's in Denver. Which is kind of Midwesty, isn't it? Well,
it's
just
drivable.
past the Midwest, isn't it?
It's drivable, but it's not Midwest, I don't
It's
think.
kind of close to the Midwest, so yeah. But Stacy tells us in 2018, ISTE's going to be in Chicago, is that right?
True. I was at the ICE conference here in February, and I heard that announcement. So that's exciting to have it close in a couple years.
There's only like so many cities they can put it in, is that right? Because of the number of educators that go, they need like a huge conference space because there's like 10, 15,000 people that go to this conference.
Yes, it's a biggie. And it's, you know what I love, just networking, getting to see, like Mindy said, you know, at EdTech, we get to see a lot of the people that we follow on Twitter, regionally, locally, and then just magnify that at ISTE. So it's a great opportunity to network and have those face-to-face conversations. Social media is one thing, but a face-to-face conversation over dinner is so much better.
Yeah, it's quite the experience, Mindy. I think you'll enjoy it this summer.
I know. I am so excited. I can hardly wait.
Okay, so you've been to an EdTech conference that you really enjoyed. You can let us know on Twitter or email us at podcast@gwaea.org. We would love to hear which ones you like and which ones you think are worth recommending to other people.
All right, so on to our main course today, served to you piping hot. Today we're going to be talking about Chrome apps, extensions, add-ons, the trainer program, all things Google-icious, brought to us by our resident expert, Google goddess, Stacy Behmer.
Wow.
Google goddess. I love it.
The goddess. The goddess.
Wow. That bar is pretty high, and I would not consider myself that, but I have a little background
You need to
knowledge.
put that one on your email signature.
Can I have a 3D printed?
Oh, tiara. Yes. For sure. We'll work on that. Yes.
So how would you like to start, Stacy?
Yeah, bring it. What you got? What are you going to share with us today?
I don't know. There's so many exciting things going on that I'm using lately, and my favorite. I'm going to just start with my current favorite Google tool, and it's more of a gadget add-on extension from the Google stuff. Is Awesome Tables. Awesome Tables. If you have not heard of them, let me explain them because. Our friend Mr. Wiley here is a spreadsheet.
Oh, this is going to get interesting. What are you going to call him? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting. Go on.
Amateur. There's certain things he has expertise on. Spreadsheets are not one of them, but he's learning.
Is he learning? Are you learning,
to,
Jonathan?
When he needs to. Yeah,
he does.
He tries.
I know.
I try to use anything but spreadsheets.
I am just as guilty. Yeah, yeah.
And yes. So anyway, Awesome Tables. There's a site, awesometables.com, and there's a dash between awesome-tables. So what it does is it's an overlay for your spreadsheet data. And why is this important? Well, if you let people like Jonathan into spreadsheets, sometimes your data gets corrupt.
Ooh.
So rather than having
Thanks
him
a lot.
use the spreadsheet, what I want to do is give him an overlay to that spreadsheet to do some filtering and sorts and find the information that he wants. And that's what Awesome Tables does.
Mindy, I've had a spreadsheet shared with me that says on the spreadsheet, Jonathan, do not do anything in this cell.
That's
Correct. Usually those are highlighted in red. And
oh, wow.
one of the fun spreadsheet tools that tips is you can actually lock cells.
Oh.
But we won't go there.
Do you lock up? Well, I know just a smidge about just a smidge, but so the ones that you lock are probably the ones with the formulas in them, right? So nobody can do anything in it or not?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Formulas or stuff. You don't want people to manipulate that data for you. And I am by no means a spreadsheet, guru at all, but I'm getting to work with them a little bit more with Awesome Tables. And actually our session at NITA is going to cover some uses of Awesome Tables. So, if you haven't taken a look at that, I can give you guys a link to our session resources if you want to
yeah.
post them. But it's a great overlay. Like I said, it's kind of that database-ish feel if you're trying to do some sorts and filters and regraph. One of my favorite tools in the Google suite is Forms. And oftentimes we collect data in Forms. And I remember my like, oh, wow moment with showing people show summary of responses. You know that? And how it graphs the data. Well, that's awesome. But then what happens sometimes is you forget to clear out your new data or your old data and you start using the form again and you're like, shoot, I have way too much data in here. Awesome Tables will allow you to do a filter by timestamp. So you can decide, it'll regraph that data to a time frame that you want. So you'll only have current data if you want. So you can collect everything all at once and then filter. Lots of other different uses for it. We actually surveyed our staff this year about some tech readiness kind of tools, and we used Awesome Tables to drill down a little bit to say, hey, these people are proficient with this, and this is how these folks answered with that, and we could drill down by job category and things like that. So a lot of fun stuff with advanced summary responses and Awesome Tables and just filtering through data.
All right, so clarify this for the spreadsheet novice.
Yeah.
It's not really... Is it a spreadsheet add-on or is it like a Google Sites add-on? Because it lives in a Google site, doesn't it?
It doesn't have to now. So now you can actually build your Awesome Tables and just provide a web link to folks right in your Awesome Table. So if you go to that awesome-tables.com, you log in with your Google account, and then you connect whatever spreadsheet you want. It'll give you a unique web link with that filter set up.
Is it kind of geeky? I mean, do you need to be really into spreadsheets to use Awesome Tables, or could you pick it up? What do you think?
You know what? I think you can pick it up because I'm becoming more geeky with spreadsheets because of Awesome Tables.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, all you need to do is say, hey, there's 2 things you need to do for every column. So that's what kind of filter do I need? So that's the first question. And then the second thing is, do you want to show the results or hide them?
Oh, that's it?
That's all. That's it for each column. What kind of filter? Show or hide. That's it.
Interesting.
You can't really mess it up.
Well,
I could mess it up.
I mean, you could mess it up.
You could.
Yeah.
Interesting. I might have to look at that now. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a good one. All right. Yep. That's good. I like that.
And as you see uses and see examples, then you're going to be like, awesome.
Yeah. It's like mind blowing. I always think like Awesome Tables kind of like are mind blowing. Like, wow. And because it's like something that you would see like on this like really professional like website or something with all these filtering capabilities. And it's just like, oh, someone I know created this. Her name's Stacy Behmer. It's pretty cool.
And it's hard to talk about. Like I'm thinking about, oh, this is really hard to explain on a podcast. It's done a lot better. It doesn't do it justice. Seeing one and interacting with some data helps.
Well, for those people that are interested, we'll just link your slides to it and they can take a look at it too. That might help visualize it a little bit.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Or a video tutorial, something like that.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Couple things that are my favorite add-ons that I've been using a lot lately are Form Mule and Autocrat. So these have been around a while. Do either of you guys use Form Mule, Autocrat?
Yes, I helped somebody use Formule recently for a mail merge. It does mail merge stuff, is that right?
Correct.
Yep.
But what did you start that mail merge in? What did you have to have all your data in?
The user had a spreadsheet that was already generated with data. So I didn't do much of that. I helped them pull the data into Formule, so that's what I did.
Yeah.
I'm going up in the world.
So, yeah, Formule is just an email merge utility. So a lot of people missed that when we went over to switch over to use the Google Apps for Education suite because there isn't that mail merge. But this is what does it. And you can actually have triggers go. So based on a criteria, I did this for our student tech fairs. So somebody filled out a Google form, the sponsor did, and said, hey, I'm going to go to the Eastern Fair. So because they selected Eastern, I had them emailed through Formule an Eastern response with all the information about the Eastern Fair. And then if they select Central, Formule knew that that was the criteria and it would send them a different email. So kind of a nice customized email solution.
I might have something right now that I'm working on that might work for. Good one.
And I think about like student lists or having parents in a spreadsheet list with the name of the student. And hey, I want to send out a reminder. I can, as long as that information is in a column in my spreadsheet, I can send out an individual reminder through Formule.
Right, with the student's name, right? So it like personalizes it. You can still do like a form email or a bulk email, but it personalizes it for that person.
And that's what's kind of nice about it. There is some restrictions though. If you're doing it in just a public Gmail account, I think you get like 100 a day. But if you are doing it in a Google Apps for Education domain email, you get 1,500 a day.
Jeez.
A day.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I went to a workshop with Ramsey Masalam once, and I think he did this in like yet another mail merge, but he took the data from his kids when they filled in a Google form as kind of a formative assessment thing, and he would add some feedback for the students and then send it back out as a mail merge, and it would say, "Dear so-and-so, here's what you did, here was your score, here's the feedback, come and see me if you have more questions," and use it for kind of a formative feedback type of activity too.
Awesome Tables and Formule and Autocrat, those are all scripts, but I don't have time to learn all that programming language and scripting all that. So that's what these add-ons do for you. They have that script in the back end, make it user-friendly. And Autocrat's another one. So if you're ever merging to documents, so you have your spreadsheet data and you want to merge into a document, or you can create more spreadsheets, you can do that. So for my Awesome Table session this week, what I'm going to do is have them fill out a Google form about them, and then we're going to use that data to do an Awesome Table. But when they fill out that data, I'm asking them for their email, and I'm going to autocrat them the notes for the session and a nice little fun certificate. So they are going to be awesome at Awesome Tables.
And I think Autocrat will let you send them a Google Doc or a PDF. Is that right? It can go in either format?
Correct.
Well, it just is like so surprising to me how your productivity with these kinds of tools just like skyrockets. I mean, all of the stuff that you normally, like all that data you would comb through or like try and sort it this way or that way. But with these kinds of tools, man, it just makes it so much simpler. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I think as a classroom teacher, if I were to have, how many different emails did I need to send out to remind my kids or to remind parents and those kind of things? And I have all that information in a spreadsheet already. So I'm just using the data, the same data set over and over and over again for different things.
All right. I've heard the word spreadsheet much more than I normally do today. So is there anything else we have here that's not spreadsheet related?
What do you want to move on to, Chrome? Extensions?
No, yeah, we love extensions.
I want to know from you two, I'm going to put them on the spot, your favorite Chrome extension. I do this a lot when I go out to dinner.
When you go out for dinner, that's what
Chrome
you say
extension?
to people?
Well, if I'm out for dinner, like Anita, we'll go out for dinner. Favorite Chrome extension around the table. Go. So I'm doing it for you with you guys now. Favorite Chrome extension. Go.
My favorite one is Snagit. Why? Because what I really love about it is that you can make little 20-second GIFs without any problem at all, and just doing like quick little screen shares with people when they are asking questions like, what's this look like, or how do I do this, instead of typing out an email or doing screenshots. Sometimes it's just easier to create a little video to show people how to do it, and it's just right there in my browser. I love it.
My favorite, I'm gonna give two. I'm gonna cheat.
Shocker.
My favorite podcasting privilege. My favorite one, I guess, would be something like Extensity, just because it lets you turn on and off extensions as and when you need them. And as good as a browser Chrome is, if you have too many extensions running at one time, it can really bog things down and slow things down. So it's got a really nice little drop-down menu where you can just tap and click on things you want to turn on and off. And the other one, if I could only have one more extension, I'd probably have uBlock Origin, which is an ad blocker. And
Ooh, I don't know this one.
I need an ad blocker. Morals and ethics aside, it's something I can't live without right now.
Morals and ethics aside.
That's the one.
Wesley Fryer recommended uBlock Origin. It's supposed to be run less on your resources and CPU than anything else that's out there right now. So I think it works fine for me.
I will be trying this. Did you share that one with us?
I don't share everything with you, but
He likes
maybe
to
I
keep
shared
himself
that
at a
one.
level above the rest of us, so he doesn't share
Right.
all of his goodies.
Most of the time, we get some of those little fun things coming our way.
I'll send you some extensions, but the super secret ones, I keep those to myself. Yeah.
If we're talking about fun ones, I just added Pac-Man as an extension on my browser.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And, well, of course, the Hey Girl Chrome extension, which is obviously really my favorite, but I can't really say that when my boss is asking me.
What do you mean you can't say it? You said it as a tech nugget last time.
Well, you know, my boss now is on the podcast, so I have to do something a little bit more ed-techy. But but the other one that I always think is so fun to share with people that always gets the most oohs and ahs is Google Tone.
Really?
People are always like so surprised by that. I can just like tone it out to you. How does that work? I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Explain what that is, Mindy, for anyone that hasn't used it before.
Okay, so Google Tone allows you to share your web link through sound waves. So it gives you this little sound. I wonder if I play it, will you guys be able to hear it? So then it broadcasts that web link and it shows up just as like an alert on other people's computers that also have Google Tone. They have to have Google Tone too. And then they can just click on it. And then the link that I'm viewing also they can view at the same time. So people love it. It's fun. It's like magic.
All right, let's flip it back to Stacy because you made us pick one and we cheated and picked two. But you're going to tell us a whole bunch. But what's your favorite or favorite two?
You know what? My favorite, the one that still I think has the gold star for me, is the goo.gl, the URL shortener.
I like that one too.
And partially when I go through some of these, partially because of the shortened URL, but I think that shortened URL is kind of silly because sometimes it's hard to disseminate when you put it in a certain font. What's a capital I? What is that, an L or whatever? So that's not so much why I use it, but it's a quick way to make QR codes, track hits on websites, and also it's a nice quick way to share to social media. So if I'm on a website, I just hit that quick and I want to send that to Twitter. So away it goes. So I think, so I don't have to break the flow, of what I'm doing. That's why I like that one. And that's why I like a lot of extensions. There's some extensions that I really like a lot. Not saying I like to have a lot of extensions on because they do slow your browser down sometimes. So, that's what I look like. What am I using frequently that's going to help make me more efficient? And that is one.
You get one more though.
Oh, I know. I'm looking at, I pulled up.
You're looking at your extension museum.
Chromes, and I'm like, which are my other one? Honestly, the one that I use a lot. And this
It's
is
the
just,
Hey Girl extension, isn't it?
It is. I hate it. No, the one I use a lot is undo close tab.
Oh, I use that one a lot.
So it just goes, and just as my workflow. Now, this would be something different for students. I mean, I'm not talking in that arena, but for me, just as I'm working, I'm like, oh, what was that tab? Or I accidentally closed something, and I can go back and search and find a quick undo. And then the other one, just workflow wise, so this is 3, is still Tab Cloud. So you can save a series of tabs and then reopen them later. So I have a series of tabs open for a project. So you can name that series of tabs and then click on it and open it again later.
Ooh.
So I think it's a good way for me working now, if I'm going to go present something or show something, I can save that series of tabs and then just click on it and open them all up automatically. For teachers and kids, what a great way to bookmark a series of sites. So I say like, okay, we are studying Iowa history, and I've got these bookmark sites. What the kids can do is go over there and hit the tab cloud and hit Iowa history, and then it'll open up all the sites they need. So they're not typing them all in.
Did you say, can you share your tab clouds?
You cannot share your tab clouds, but you can use one tab, which is another extension that will let you do something similar and save that or share that series of tabs.
I like that.
What else is good? What else should we know about?
Oh, I've been doing, and I know you guys have talked about this too with teachers, as folks have Chromebooks and different devices. There's a lot of accessibility stuff built into iPads. And so what do you get on the Chromebook that's comparable? So sometimes you have to piecemeal tools together to do some of those accessibility things. So that's kind of what I'm looking for too. So, readability is another great one. just a simple Google dictionary as kids are reading the web and can highlight a word and have it read to them and defined. Readability clears up all the extra ads and things off of a website as kids are reading. But then you can also do some reversal of fonts, color, and save that to read offline or read later. So those are just, I don't know, there's a bunch of them that I like, but I like the ones that really students can use to help them become better readers and writers.
So I have a question for you, Stacy. How is it that you learned so much about Google? Like, what was the path that you took that got you to your wealth of knowledge?
I have only a smidget of knowledge compared to some people. So,
well, compared to me, you would have more knowledge. So there you go.
Okay. So, Iowa, it's kind of funny. So I'm way back when. No, Iowa, about 7 years ago or so, Iowa went statewide with Google Apps, for education. So it was when Google Apps for Education was just starting to take off. So I had the opportunity to head out with some other Iowa educators to the Googleplex out in Mountain View. And we did a 2-day training out there, and then came back, and some of our districts started deploying Google Apps. So helping support them in that transition and utilizing these tools was part of my job as a technology consultant. So I was just learning and soaking in as much as I could. And, honestly, one of my favorite experiences here at the AEA was getting the opportunity to work with one of our districts, Clear Creek, Amana, as a tech consultant. And they had a student group, the Creek Squad back in the day, and they were learning all this Google Apps stuff and helping with break fix stuff in the district, and helping teachers get on board with how to use these tools. And so I learned so much just meeting with those guys. Like, we had a meeting once a month with a team of middle school kids, and they just showed me all kinds of different things. So that was awesome learning for me too. It's not just from blog posts or seeing stuff on Twitter or, webinars or all that, but you can learn a lot from the kids too. So that's kind of how it all started. And then I've just kind of kept my feet in the water.
Is it true that somewhere on YouTube there is a video of the Creek Squad? I feel like I've seen that somewhere before.
There is.
We should link to that in the show notes,
Okay,
Mindy.
I'll see if I can track it down.
Stacy's
See
Creek
if you can
Squad.
track it down. I don't know where it is. Yeah, Google actually came out. Google for Education came out, and they sent a crew to film, and it was an event. It was kind of cool for these kids.
Are you in the video, Stacy?
Mm-hmm.
You are? Oh, I didn't watch all the way through, I guess, or I must have skipped over that bit.
So another way to stay current, though, is joining like your Google educator groups. There is Google Plus communities. That's another way that people are posting things. I also had the opportunity to do a Google Teacher Academy, which is now, they're Google Innovators. So that was another learning experience. And I built my PLN there and just have these amazing educators that I've connected with and have been able to tap for resources and questions and things like that. So that's part of how I've gotten to know quite a bit, and I continue learning. So those certifications have come in handy.
Yeah, and haven't those certifications kind of changed just a little bit has it been just like in the last year?
Yes, they have. So now, and that's one of the things I really like about the Google for Education team, is they're listening to feedback. And there used to be just a Google Education trainer, and then that was fine. And then they had the certified teacher stuff. But there's a lot of things with the Google certified trainer program now. Those are meant for people that do professional development and work for teachers. And there are some amazing teachers out there, like educators, that aren't doing PD all the time. And part of the requirements for a certified trainer is to actually go out and do professional development and work with teachers. So your average teacher who is an amazing educator and needs to stay working with kids doesn't always have those opportunities. So they've created the educator level 1 and level 2 certificates. So you can get that certification. So that just means you're taking a series or an exam for the level 1 and level 2.
Yeah. And I think that can be a great thing just for teachers to like add a bit of street cred to their resume. Like if they're looking for teaching positions elsewhere further down the line, that it's good to have that, like certification and qualification on your resume.
So can I ask a question again? So about the level 1 and level 2 though, are they more like, it's not really like Google Basics though, it's more about the integration. Is that correct? Isn't that kind of how it's changed a little bit as far as their delivery or their instruction? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what's really nice about this, because some of those first exams were just, here's how you use the tool. How do you share a document? Blah, blah, blah. And so now it's more job embedded questions, or how would you have students do this scenario and what would you do with it? So the educator level 1 is just basic fundamentals. And then they really try to dig deeper and advance for level 2. But what's also kind of cool is the training materials, like the review materials, are all there. So that's great new learning for people who are interested. And I know as folks that train, and we do a lot of PD, our team, quite a bit. And if you're doing a Google training, you better check like the hour before to make sure nothing has changed, because we're updating our slide decks or presentation materials quite frequently. The nice thing is if you send them over to the Google training materials, those are going to be current.
Yeah, because even if you don't know anything about Google, their help center is amazing. I mean, you can find any answer to pretty much any question that you've got, and it walks you through all the steps, and I love it there.
Yeah, and on that kind of note, one of the things that I appreciate about these programs, because I'm part of the Certified Trainer program, is that just the community of people that you get connected with, and the vast knowledge that people have on the Google apps and tools is hard to match or explain, really, because there's always somebody out there that can answer your Google question, whether it's on Google Plus or in part of the Google group communities and things like that. It's it's just a world of people it connects you to.
Yeah, it is, and I'm thinking of folks like Hank Thiele, who I work with out of Illinois. He and I worked together with the Midwest Summit, and his school is one of the original districts to go Google Apps. And the stuff he has done is amazing. And then he just showed me awesome tables. It's his fault that I am all about awesome tables a year ago. But it's just, how do you do this? How do you do that?
So what about the Certified Innovator one? Do you know much about that? That's a recent one again, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a kind of a facelift, per se, of the Google Certified Teacher program. So these are certified innovators, and they run those maybe once or twice a year. It just depends. You never know when they're going to come up, so you just got to be watching. You have to take the level 2 exam. So they're hoping for educators that go beyond the basics. So you have to pass the level 2 certified educator exam. And then there's an application process. So questions about what you're doing in your classroom, and it pushes a little bit more, and they're looking for people that are doing amazing, innovative things in their district, and in their classroom and in their school. So some of those movers and shakers out there. And I look around, and there's so many teachers that I see in our area that would be prime candidates. It's a little extra work. You've got to go through and create a video and pass the exam and fill out the application process. But for that, then if you're accepted, you get to spend a couple of days at a Google headquarters somewhere. This next one that I think it closes in May. Applications close in May, and then they're announced. And right after ISTE, there is a certified innovator. I don't know if it's an academy or what they call it, but they have that, and it's in Boulder, Colorado, one of my favorite places.
So after ISTE, you can just zoom on over there.
Zoom on up to Boulder, and there you be.
You bet.
Yeah, so applications are being accepted right now. And
you said that closes in May?
Yeah, I believe it's, or April 30th. And then I think they let people know in May. I would say, if you're looking for that kind of stuff, join your Google Educator group. Iowa, we've got a Google Educator group. So as I get some of that stuff coming across my desk, and shared with me, I've been posting in our GEG so people know when that's coming. Or follow on Twitter. That's another great resource.
All right, so that brings us to my favorite part of the show, the Tech Nuggets. And whose turn is it to go first? I don't remember.
I think it's my turn to go first, Mindy.
Okay. All right.
Mine is a short one, and it's something that just came out yesterday, I believe. We're recording April 19th, so this came out April 18th, and that is that podcasts are now available in Google Play Music, and that means you can listen to podcasts on the web or on Android devices through a native Google app, which you couldn't really do before. So I don't know how you're listening to this podcast right now, whether it's on a computer or on a mobile device, but I think this is kind of an interesting move by Google to try and compete with iTunes and have a podcast directory that you are able to access through Google Play Music, which is a separate app from the Google Play app. So if you're looking in the Google Play Store where you go normally looking for apps, it's not in there. It has to be in the Google Play Music app. And you will find the EdTech Takeout among many other quality podcasts available in Google Play Music for Android and on the web. So if you want to listen on the web, you absolutely can. What do you think of that one, Mindy?
Well, that's good. So did you have to do anything different to get, still takes an RSS feed like iTunes does?
Yeah, I had to submit our podcast feed pretty much the same way that you do with iTunes. And actually, I did that back in...
Like way back,
I don't know,
right?
back in February or something like that. Because they had this kind of pre-sign-up thing going on where you could submit. But it's only now that it's recently launched. So check us out on the Google Play Music.
Thank you for sharing. So mine is from Tony Vincent. And... it is something I hadn't seen before or really thought about, and it uses QuickTime, and I love QuickTime. It's one of my favorite things about using my Mac. So I saw that you can connect your iPad to your computer with just your regular charging cord, and you plug it in, and if you open up QuickTime Player, you can open up a new movie recording, and when it first opens up, it's just going to use your camera from your computer. But if you use QuickTime, there's like this little drop-down arrow right by the little record button, and it will allow you to change it over to your iPad so that you can mirror your iPad to your computer and record the screen of your iPad instead of your computer using QuickTime. So one of the ways that he uses it, though, he says, is when he's presenting. So instead of like trying to use Air Server or something like that, which can get, sometimes it works really well and sometimes there's problems with it. But this way you can just plug your iPad into your computer. And if your computer is, attached to some sort of projector or something like that, then it shows up on the screen. So I didn't know you could do that. Did you?
Yeah, I did know you could do that.
Oh,
I
it's a
think
shocker.
maybe What?
I said that's a shocker. Of course you
Shocker.
knew.
The thing that I like about this method, I guess, is that you don't need Wi-Fi to put your Apple iPad on your Mac, because you can just, shoot it over there with the cable. So if you happen to be somewhere where you don't have Wi-Fi or the Wi-Fi is not very reliable, those are the occasions when Air Server and Reflector don't work very well, because you need Wi-Fi for that.
When I played with it, though, one of the things that I noticed, and maybe you can turn this off, you probably know, but so, every time you connect your iPad to your computer, then your photos always pop up as, that they want to import your photos from your iPad to your photos on your computer. So can you turn that off somehow?
There is a way to turn that off.
Is there?
But
Yeah.
I don't remember where you turn that off. It might be in, I don't know if it's in iTunes or if it's in the photos, but I believe you can turn that off.
Well, this is kind of annoying. And then it'd like occasionally do it again while I was working.
While you're recording, that would be annoying. Yes.
That's kind of annoying. But I figured you got to be able to turn this off somehow. And I was just kind of messing with it. So I didn't look into it that much further. But I thought it was kind of a nice tool for teachers I have people asking me all the time, well, how do I project what I'm doing on my iPad? And although I do love Air Server because you can project lots of iPads up at one time, it is kind of a nice way just to do it quick. If you don't have one of those other, softwares or whatever. So, yeah. Thank you, Tony Vincent.
Okay. I thought of one.
Okay.
Stacy Behmer has a tech nugget.
Well, this is just kind of something useful, and I don't know if you guys have talked about this, since Google Photos has also had a big facelift in the last 6 months, year or so. One of the things, just iPad, iPhone, Android phone, I would always recommend turning on that instant upload or be able to back up your photos to Google Photos, because you don't have a storage limit as long as you go a basic resolution, which is good enough for me. So that's always nice because I'm snapping pictures a lot. Oftentimes, it seems like if I'll go to a conference or I'll go see something, observe, I'll snap a picture of it. So to make sure I have that backed up, I have the Google Photos turned on, which is great. And then once you have all of your photos up on the web, I don't need to worry about emailing myself a photo and then dropping it into a slide deck. But how awesome is that if kids were able to put the Photos app on a device and snap a picture and upload it and use it for a project? It'll automatically create photo albums for you now. So a lot of the things that, iPhoto used to have for us are up there. And then it's got the shared album, and you can create animations and collages. And lately, as I've been traveling, when I get back from my trips, even if it's just like to Des Moines, it'll create an album for me, and it'll add a map, and I can add captions, and then I can quickly share that album out with other people. So some fun things. Some of those features that we are missing in Picasa, rest in peace, are being incorporated into Google Photos. So that would be my little nugget. Upload your photos and then let Google Photos create some albums for you.
I really like that auto upload feature. I think a lot of the cloud apps have that. I almost wish that, there was an option somewhere in settings you could turn on auto upload, and once it's uploaded, delete from my device.
I agree.
And because a number of people that come to me sometimes and say, oh, my iPad's full, but I put all my photos in Google Photos, and it's like, well, they're still on your iPad as well. So they're in two places at once. I'd love the option to, I don't know if Apple will let you do that probably, but Android might.
I don't know. And, on my photos, if I delete it from my photos in the cloud, I think I have the option to delete it from my phone.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so it'll delete it from all places, but it gives me a little warning.
But then you're an Android user. I don't think Apple will let the iPhone users do that. So,
yeah.
Well,
that's okay.
Maybe one day.
One day. And it's not, if you can do a quick select all and delete, but you're right, you got to remember to delete it because photos are storage hogs.
I delete my Google Photos app off my iPad all the time, or my iPhone. So I just put my new photos on it, and then I just delete the app. And when I have a bunch on my camera roll again, I reload it, put them all in, delete them. It's kind of nice.
So
and I always have
but then you still have to
space.
Delete them off your device, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
But I'm just saying it's kind of nice because I have so much music on my phone that sometimes my storage can get a little sketchy. So it's a nice way for me to be able to add those photos, and then I just delete the app too. And then when I want it, I just pull it back in. So it's good to go.
That might be a discussion for later, because I have some questions for you guys about how you do your music and podcasts and stuff. If you stream a lot of that, or if you download it locally.
I stream most of mine.
My podcast download, because I have a limited data plan, so I like to listen to them in the car. So mine automatically download like the last 2 or 3 episodes. It just checks periodically through the day so that I always have something offline I can listen to.
Oh, that makes sense.
What do you use? Do you use Pocket? What is the thing that you use? You don't use
I use Overcast.
Overcast.
Yeah, iOS. I think it's iOS only, but I use Overcast for my podcasts.
Nice. So we just threw in an extra nugget there.
Yeah, that's an extra nugget.
Extra nugget, yeah. All right, so if you enjoyed the show, please subscribe in one of those podcast players we were talking about of your choice. You can be Google Play Music now if you really want to. And leave us a review on iTunes. I don't know if you can leave us a review in Google Play Music or not, but I expect that will be coming soon if it's not here already. Lots of people have already left us reviews, and I'm going to share one that we got recently. And I know you saw this one, Mindy. I don't know if Stacy's heard it or not, but one we got from WordNerd80 on iTunes. He or she said, this is a must in my podcast rotation. Each episode is the perfect length for either my drive to or from work. I always look forward to hearing Jonathan and Mindy's voices. They are entertaining and provide wonderful resources, especially the tech nuggets. I know, look at that. So that was a good one. You can follow us on Twitter if you like. I am at Jonathan Wiley. Mindy is at Team Kearney. Stacy is at S Behmer, Sbehmer. And you can also use the hashtag EdTechTO if you want to tag the show. Send us any of your ideas and feedback to podcast@gwaea.org. And until next time.
This has been the EdTech Takeout. We hope it hit the spot.
For more information on today's episode, please visit dlgwaea.org/podcast.